these people. Okay.
Hello, all, and thank you for that staging music. Terrific. Good choice. So, hello, all, and welcome. Welcome to the virtual 2024 AARP California Andrus Award for Community Service. My name is Joe Garbanzos. I'm your AARP California State President. And today, we are joined by my partner, Nancy McPherson, AARP California State Director. Thank you, Nancy. Donna Davis, the person who nominated our 2024 Andrews Award winners. Thank you, Donna. And of course, our recipients, the awardees, Joy and Jean. Thank you for what you do. And they are the founders of the A Male with Dignity and our recipients of our 2024 Andrews Award. Just a little bit of a background. The Andrus Award is AARP's most prestigious volunteer recognition award. The award recognizes a community-minded person or persons age 50 plus who exemplifies outstanding volunteer service. A little bit of a history lesson. For those of you who may not be aware, AARP began more than 65 years ago. It's about my age. Started by a visionary founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus. Dr. Andrus was born in the San Francisco Bay Area. She went on to work as a teacher in the Los Angeles area at the Lincoln High School. It's still there, by the way. I've been there a couple of times, where she served as the first female principal, first female principal in a major urban high school in California. So she was a pioneer in more ways than one. Now, the story of AARP started after Dr. Andrus discovered a fellow retired teacher living in an abandoned chicken coop. Imagine that. Could not afford proper housing, did not have healthcare access or food. This shocked Dr. Andrus, as you can imagine. And this was the beginning. And since then, she advocated tirelessly to improve the lives of older adults, not just retired teachers, by the way. So she started with the National Retired Teachers Association, and that evolved into AARP. Dr. Andrus founded the National Retired Teachers Association in 1947. The aim of the organization was to help protect and advocate for retired educators. Then in 1958, she founded AARP, a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that has continued to grow and serve older adults, their families and communities, and has done this kind of work inspired by Dr. Andrus for the past 64, 65 years.
Wow.
So today, yes, today, AARP continues and sustains the work of Dr. Andrus, her legacy. AARP empowers adults, 50-year-old plus, to choose how they live as they age. AARP has a presence in all 50 states, plus District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We have AARP has a national office in Washington, D.C. So our staff and volunteers, and I'm one of them, work on behalf of our 3.2 million members in California, and many of you might be joining us here virtually. We advocate for the 50-year-old plus and their families to live with confidence and safely in their communities. So the essence of the AARP Andrus Award for Community Service is Dr. Andrus' belief that it is only the giving of oneself to others that we truly live. Each year, AARP California recognizes an extraordinary volunteer or volunteers and community leader, honoring them with the most prestigious volunteer award, and that is the AARP Andrus Award for Community Service. Mind you, the nomination selection process is rigorous. In 2024, AARP California, the state office, received 12 nominations. Each was rigorously reviewed by a selection team. The criteria and the special focus is on how these nominees work, improve the community in alignment with AARP's vision and mission, and the impact to others.
Shut it down. Call local law enforcement and demand that a report be taken.
Please mute.
So we have a background noise. Thank you very much. So the criteria includes an alignment with AARP's vision and mission and the impact on others. So this is an inspiring process. The selection team, I'd like to recognize them.
Let's select.
Includes the following: Greg Jung. Let's give Greg a virtual applause. Patricia Smith, Neil, Liz Derolay, Christy Woods, and Sonia Casares. I think I'm pronouncing it right. So let's give all of these people, part of the selection team, a virtual round of applause. Thank you. So drum roll. This year, Team AARP California is proud to present the 2024 Andrus Award of Community Service to Joy and Jean Devadio, founders of A Meal with Dignity. Joy and Jean were chosen from a field of other extraordinary nominees for their remarkable service and for their significant impact on the lives of others. Now, it is now my pleasure to introduce Donna Davis to share a few words and comments why she nominated Joy and Jean for the AARP California Andrus Award of Community Service. Donna, please.
Hello. Hi, I'm Donna Davis, and I've been an AARP member for over 15 years. I just turned Medicare age. And I'm here because I nominated Joy and Jean because, to me, the Chinese believe that food is love. And our typical greeting is not, "Hi, how are you?" It's, "Have you eaten yet?" And that's why the purpose of A Meal of Dignity resonated with me so much. And back in 2019, our neighbor, Susie Leach, actually invited us and asked us if we wanted to do some volunteer work on a Saturday morning. And that day, we met Joy and Jean, who welcomed us so warmly into their home. And they had set up their entire house for a group of us to prepare fresh and organic sandwiches. And right after, and that was an experience in itself, and it was just full of love and compassion and joy. And as soon as the sandwiches were packed with a fresh piece of fruit and a baked sweet, we distributed them to the unhoused individuals in various parts of San Francisco that needed it most. And everyone was so grateful for the meal that we were passing out, but there are absolutely no words that could describe how that made me feel and how that stayed with me and how it just changed that day, that this is what was important to do. And it was such a compassionate and admirable purpose that Joy and Jean had. And the thing about Joy and Jean is that you can feel their dedication and their honesty as soon as you meet them. They are such the real deal. And I just couldn't be prouder to call them my friends. And this is why I nominated them for the Andrus Award. The name of their organization, A Meal with Dignity, really says it all. And what started as a personal kind of unknown small purpose has grown into an organization that is now expanded within and outside of California. So I'm very excited about that for them as well. And what I also admire about them is that they truly live up to their belief that food is medicine and that everyone deserves great food. I also want to thank Joe and Nancy and the selection team for reviewing my nomination and approving it. And I couldn't be prouder to be an AARP member, and will continue with the good work that they do every day for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Inspiring nomination. And now I'd like to introduce my partner, Nancy McPherson, AARP California State Director, to present the award. Nancy.
Thank you, Joe, and to everyone who's joining us today. And Greg, I just want to call you out. If you would just wave, thank you for being there to support Joy and Jean. Thanks so much for that. We do get to celebrate virtually and really recognize the 2024 Andrus Award recipient. As you've heard a little bit, the award is named after our founder, and I was sharing with folks before we opened the doors to the Zoom room that as an employee of AARP and our staff, we feel very inspired to work for a founder who was so visionary and so caring about what happened in the community. And she had an iron fist and a velvet glove. She was no pushover, and really set us up for success with advocacy, but also with community education and programming and specific programs that actually supported people right where they are in community. As Joe mentioned, she lived by the motto, to serve, not to be served. And that motto continues to shape our work years after she founded this association to help older Americans age with dignity and purpose. The award is given annually to a Californian, in this case, a Californian couple whose service is a unique and valuable contribution to society. And I do want to mention too that Dr. Andrus herself was a volunteer. She never accepted payment for any of her work with AARP. And I think she really set the bar for amazing volunteer service. So we are honored to present Joy and Jean DeVideo with AARP California's Andrus Award for Community Service, as well as a $1,000 donation to A Meal with Dignity in recognition of their outstanding community service. And we don't have to say that the check is in the mail because they already received it. And they told us that it's going to support 2 events that they are sponsoring, and we're really delighted about that. As shared by Joe and Donna, Joy and Jean's record of achievement, service, and commitment really provides an extraordinary example of the difference that volunteerism can make in the lives of individuals and in the well-being and vitality of a community. Their journey of service began before the pandemic. They started by making fresh and organic lunches for people unhoused in San Francisco. And as Donna referenced, they used their own kitchen and supplies to prepare between 50 to 75 individual meals. And they focused their meal distribution on unhoused older adults. Today, A Meal with Dignity has grown from the DeVideo's home to organized collaborations in spaces around San Francisco. And they also have established relationships with corporate partners to inspire more volunteers to participate. Their dedication, I love the way Donna described the food is medicine approach to this, but their dedication to provide homemade, organic, and sustainable food aligns with their belief that food is medicine, and certainly their volunteers support that also, that everyone deserves the highest quality ingredients. Joy and Jean, your persistent work to address homelessness and support those most in need in San Francisco is really an inspiration to all of us. California continues to face significant challenges with homelessness, particularly among older adults. That number grows every year, and San Francisco is no exception. Your volunteer service truly enhances the lives of people of all ages and abilities and empowers people to choose how they live as they age, which is an alignment completely with AARP's mission and values. We're so proud to present you with AARP's most prestigious volunteer award, the AARP Andrus Award for Community Service. And Joy and Jean, I think I heard from Sam that you already received the award. So if you would go ahead and lift that up, show it off if you can, and we'll have Sam take a picture of it, if you would hold it up for just a moment. Sam, are you able to get that?
Got it.
Great. Thank you so much. So Joy Jean, once again, thank you for your work and service, and the floor is now yours to provide any remarks that you would like to make.
Just 1 second, I'm gonna give Joy some assistance here. You have it. Okay, put it right here.
Oh, thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Donna. Good afternoon, everyone. My husband, Gene, and I are deeply honored to receive the AARP California 2024 Andrus Award for Community Service. I come from the specialty food industry. For over 30 years, my community service has been centered on feeding the poor and suffering and advocating for their right to food security. In late 2016, Gene grew frustrated with our inability to aid the growing number of unsheltered neighbors living on the streets in San Francisco. Excuse me, I'm a little bit nervous, so I lost my place in this speech here. Let me, where does, no, okay.
Take your time.
Okay, great, well, thank you. Driven by the idea that it is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness, he bought a loaf of sliced bread, prepared 12 bag lunches. We drove to City Hall and hand delivered to the unsheltered neighbors currently living in Civic Center Plaza. From that simple act of compassion, we created a meal with dignity. By the way, we're an all-volunteer group. A lot has changed since that first day. We believe our neighbors experiencing homelessness have a right to more than sufficient nutrition. We live by the motto, food is medicine. We believe the unsheltered have a right to food security and dignified access to fresh, organic, and nutritionally complete meals. Driven by the San Francisco food values, fresh ingredients, local sourcing, and farm to table, we quickly developed a fresh, nutritionally balanced, organic bagged lunch, 2 bottles of spring water, a homemade vegetarian sandwich, ripened fruit, and a dessert. We created a website and a social media network devoted to supporting our efforts, which also trains and motivates others to do the same. We and many other nonpartisan volunteers, individuals, enterprises, and community organizations still hand make and hand deliver AMWD lunches directly to our unsheltered neighbors on the streets. Last year, we crossed a milestone, serving our 10,000th meal. We invite you to take the simple step of feeding your unsheltered neighbors. Start with just 6 bag lunches. Not only will you satisfy their thirst, hunger, and need for nutrition, but you can also engage on a personal level to relieve the relational poverty and isolation that comes with homelessness. Please join our cause. Anyone can and anyone should. Thank you. And now my husband, Gene.
Well, thank you, Joy. This is like the award season, as we all know. The Grammys are on Sunday, I guess. But thank you, everyone at AARP. It's so nice to meet all of you virtually, and thank you, Donna and Glenn Davis. I'm Gene DeVideo, the AMWG's co-founder and board president. Like Joy, I am deeply honored and humbled to receive the AARP California 2024 Andrus Award for Community Service. While Joy and I appreciate the honor that you're giving us today, we all know that community service takes a team effort. I want to thank the many volunteers and team members who have supported AMWD and made this award possible for us. Our board of directors, starting with Greg Wilcox here, our newest board member and our longest standing volunteer since the beginning. I think Greg made 2,000 of those 10,000 lunches. Joe Sweeney, Diz Pettit, Dr. Adrian Arocachea, and Lawrence Josel from Nopal Restaurant, and our advisory board who work for us tirelessly, David Rutan, Casey Hagerman, Mike Leach, Lily Beckwith, and Mason Shear, who just joined us and have opened a satellite office for A Meal with Dignity in Seattle. And they have a serious problem up there. And the hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of volunteers around the country and frankly around the world who have supported us over the years, especially Isana Mitchell in Rome, Susie Leach right here in the Bay Area, Genevieve Martin here in the Bay Area, and Makiko Harris in London. As Joyce said, our core objective is to inspire, train, and coach others to feed our homeless neighbors on the street as you would feed yourself or your family. Sadly, the fastest growing segment of homelessness in the United States is older adults. In fact, the AAR definition, 50 and over. You can be part of the solution by volunteering your time and encouraging others to do the same. Make and hand deliver AMWD lunches to your neighbors living on the streets, something we can all do and continue to do. In addition, and to close, in addition to making and hand delivering AMWD lunches, we also use our experience and our new position in the community to advocate for long-term sustainable solutions to homeless housing and food insecurity. I'm a retired engineer, strategic planner, and new business developer. When we co-founded AMWD, I had no special skills to address these type of problems, and neither did Ethel Andrus when she started AARP. You too can act right now to advocate for long-term solutions. Educate yourself, support local initiatives, speak up as a vocal advocate. Above all, recognize that long-term solutions, sustainable solutions, will require removing barriers, meeting people where they are, not just through the work of a few, but by building coalitions across all lines to build substantial and humane resources to address one of the most significant issues of our times. Please join our cause. As Joyce said, and I say, anyone can and everyone should. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Inspiring words. Thank you, Joy, Jean, and Greg, and the rest of your team. May your tribe continue to grow. So for anyone who just joined us or joined us later, late, we had the opportunity of presenting the most prestigious award, the AARP California Andrus Award, to Joy and Jean. Again, congratulations. You can learn more about AARP California Andrus Award and more about the work that Joy, Jean, and Greg's team are doing by visiting AARP. Excuse me, there's a background noise. Sorry about that. Sorry, the challenges of having an office at home. Anyways, for those who join, we just concluded the opportunity to present the AARP California 2024 Andrus Award for Community Service. You can learn more about the award and the work that Joy and Jean and their team are doing by visiting aarp.org/ca, aarp.org/ca. Joy and Jean and Donna, thank you. Thank you to all the volunteers at Team A Meal with Dignity. I like the motto, food is medicine. Thank you for supporting the communities during these trying times and making a positive impact that will last a long time. So to our guests, have a safe day and thank you for sharing your time in honoring Joy, Jean, Greg, and Team A Meal with Dignity. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Take good care.
Mhm.